Alright, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to WWE, or I guess Smackdown presents WWE Judgment Day 2004, second pay-per-view of the save so far, and we haven't even gotten a month through. As I was booking the build to Judgment Day, I kind of realized, wait, I could have just had Backlash here, and then I wouldn't have needed to add like 3 events, but shit happens. I'm actually kind of glad we started with Backlash. Starting with Backlash and running the almost identical Backlash card was really fun, so I'm glad we did that because Judgment Day is already looking wildly different than real life. Main event's the same. I actually made sure I didn't look at the Judgment Day card until I was booking the show, and then I'm like, I wonder what's going on. But yeah, so JBL and Eddie Guerrero is probably the only thing that's the same. Oh, and Rene Dupree versus John Cena. But yeah, we have a number 1 contenders match between Mysterio, Van Dam, and Booker T. We have the debut of Ken Shamrock, the re-debut of Ken Shamrock as he takes on the Undertaker in our semi-main. We have another re-debut as Steve Austin announced on the Smackdown Go Home show that, Big Show, I really wish you wouldn't have interrupted me, because, that big announcement I had, it was that I'm cleared to compete, that I am good to go, and since you fucked with me, I'm gonna fuck with you. Big Show, meet me at Judgment Day, because we're going one-on-one, baby. Total Domination to take on the Dudley Boys. I actually think it's Total Domination's first tag team match, the team of Perry Saturn and Rick Steiner. I think it's their first match as a tag team. I know Perry Saturn had a match against Spike Dudley. So, yeah, Total Domination's here. And then, of course, Ultimo Dragon versus Chavo Guerrero for the Cruiserweight Championship. Alright, sorry, my throat was giving out already. Pause. But yeah, Judgment Day 2004, we're good to go. Nothing really happened in the news other than a bunch of my people on the short list I have are done with like 0-1. So, I mean, other than that, I don't think there's any news. I did look at the Judgment Day card from real life. Jacqueline was the Cruiserweight Champion. Why and how? I don't... Okay, I mean, alright. Okay, sure. Yeah, I do know that, I'm sure this has been commented. I don't know for a fact. No SmackDown videos have been posted, but I do not book any of the women on SmackDown, and that's not because I'm sexist. In fact, I have 2 women's storylines going on Raw, so, you know, I'm beating the allegations. It's just, without a championship on SmackDown, without a women's title, it's like, what am I building towards, you know? It's like, oh, we'll just do petty feuds, and then it's like, you know? So I think it's just better to wait until I have a big enough women's division before I bring in, like, I don't know if it'll be the Divas title or some other title that I'm going to create that I want to, you know, make a women's title for. But until then, we're just, you know, SmackDown's a sausage fest until then. So, yeah, let's actually get into Judgment Day. A lot of people were mad at my booking. But we kick off the show. What a good way to kick off the show as Kurt Angle and JBL open the show, and our interim GM says Judgment Day is the most fitting name for tonight, because tonight will be Eddie Guerrero's Judgment Day. He is going to be brought against the council of Kurt and John, and he will be tried and burned at the stake. The era of Eddie Guerrero is finally coming to an end. He fluked into his world championship, and he barely snuck away beating me at WrestleMania, and tonight I get my revenge, and JBL gets his first ever world championship here in the WWE. Eddie Guerrero, your time is up. My time is now. Yeah, 85, good way to kick off the show. I like kicking off my pay-per-views, with a hot angle, at least for sports end companies. If I was booking a more, I don't really know what would be like, I don't know, just like a more wrestling-based product, I'd probably just kick off with the Cruiserweight title match. But if I'm booking WWE, I like to try to get an 85 or above rated angle to kick off the show. A good way to start the show. And our opening contest between Ultimo Dragon and Chavo Guerrero gets an 81, and the reason I wasn't sure if it would do well is because the match ends after 9 minutes and 36 seconds when Chavo Classic runs in on Ultimo Dragon for the interference. Ultimo did not bring Jushin Thunder Liger to ringside. He came alone. He did not suspect that Chavo Classic was going to interfere and make it so Chavo Guerrero retains the Cruiserweight Championship. 81 rated match to kick off the show. What a fucking... Dude, the Cruiserweight division is back. The Cruiserweight division is like it was in WCW, man. We got fucking juniors. We got Japanese juniors in here. I'm gonna try to bring in some guys from Mexico. We're gonna get some luchas in here. Fucking, dude, the Cruiserweight Championship is back, baby. Yeah, and we finish off this segment. Jushin Liger, he does come out and help Ultimo Dragon up, but Chavo and Chavo, they walk away holding that Cruiserweight Championship, laughing right at Ultimo, like, aha, we outsmarted you, Ultimo. You can't beat the Guerreros. You can't do it. Don't even try. 53 angle there. We cut backstage where Howard Finkel is interviewing Rene Dupree, and Howard Finkel just kind of asks, like, Rene, you went pretty hardcore on that last Smackdown there. You choked out John Cena with the flag of Quebec, and then you shit on every single American. What is your, what's with this new aggression? And Rene Dupree just says, I've dealt with disrespect long enough by John Cena. I'm sick of this American pig thinking that he's better than the French Canadians of the world. Okay, John? And if you think I'm not gonna bring that same aggression that I brought in that episode of SmackDown when I choked you lifeless with the flag of Quebec, the nation's capital, the capital of the world's flag, the flag of Quebec, you do not know who I am. I told you you need to start taking me seriously, and you refused, so I've made you take me seriously. If you think I'm not gonna have something in my pocket ready for our match, then you do not know who you're going up against. And when he says something in my pocket, he kind of flashes like, oh, John, I've got brass knuckles, John. I've got brass knuckles. So, yeah, Rene Dupree just essentially showing his game plan before his match, letting John Cena know that, he's not coming in for a fair fight. 59 rated segment. Our next match sees the team of Total Domination make their tag team debut against the Dudley Boys, and they are successful here in this 64 rated match as they defeat the Dudley Boys in 12 minutes and 21 seconds when Perry Saturn submits Devon Dudley with the Rings of Saturn after interference from Tony Chimmel. Rick Steiner and Tony Chimmel are an awkward pairing. Fuck. God damn it, that sucks. Alright. Brutal. Brutal. Okay. The whole reason I signed him was for whatever. Shit happens. So, yeah, Rick and Perry get their victory. Second interference victory in a row, so hopefully that doesn't continue out through the entire night. But Tony Chimmel Services LLC are successful here. Total Domination defeat the Dudley Boys, and yeah, our little Saul Goodman-esque manager is able to escape from the Dudleys after cheating to win. Our following segment sees Eddie Guerrero being interviewed by Howard Finkel, and essentially Finkel's like, Eddie, I don't know if you heard what Kurt Angle said at the top of the show, but he said your time is coming, and then Eddie looks right at Finkel, and he's like, Fink, what did we talk about last SmackDown? You know, if Kurt Angle really wants to come at me, I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to use everything in my arsenal to make sure that he is unsuccessful. I didn't win this championship based on honors and values. If Kurt Angle wants to try whatever he wants, I'm not going to stop him. I'm just going to do it better than him. And then that's when Steve Austin comes in, and Steve Austin and Eddie Guerrero kind of are like, oh, what's going on, amigo? Bestie, what's up? And Steve Austin's just like, Eddie, good luck in your title match tonight. I have quite the history with Kurt Angle, and I want nothing more right now to then see our current interim GM's smile wiped off his face when you retain that title. And Eddie says, well, forget about me. Austin, you got your first match back. What the hell happened? He's like, look, doctors cleared me. I wanted to come back. I'm wrestling that big fat motherfucker. And Eddie's like, yeah, he is one big fat motherfucker, isn't he? And Austin says, yeah, he tried to, the Big Show, Paul White tries to punk me out on my first show back, and look where it's getting him. It's getting him in the ring with me. So, and then Eddie's like, hey, look, I got some Coronas if you want to, and then Austin's like, oh, I got a Budweiser. And then they share a beer. They have a nice drink together. So Eddie and Austin just kind of hype up their matches for later tonight. 85 rated Angle, and we cut to a much more somber tone as we cut to Kurt Angle's interim office when he is talking to his boys, all of them, JBL, Big Show, the Bashams, and Ken Shamrock, and he says, tonight, I talked a lot of shit. Opening the show, alright? So, no mistakes. We need everything at our disposal. Eddie Guerrero is asking for it at this point. The way he is taunting us like, oh, I'm gonna cheat better than Kurt Angle. Nobody cheats better than Kurt Angle, but Kurt Angle doesn't cheat, alright? We just think smarter. Doug, Danny, tonight is your night. We need you to do what you do best. Undertaker cannot be seen walking straight, alright? Eddie Guerrero, if he wants to cheat during that match, you two need to be there for him. And Doug and Danny are like, yes, sir, and they salute. And then Ken Shamrock just kind of looks at Kurt and he's like, I don't really need help. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really need it. And Kurt's like, I don't care if you need it or not. You're gonna get it. And then he looks right at Big Show and he's like, Big Show, you fucking should be the champion. You gotta deal with Austin on your own. And Show's like, what the fuck do you mean I gotta deal with Austin on my own? And Kurt's like, look, I gave you a deal. I've held up my end of the deal, and then you fucked it up at the very last moment. You're on your own, Big Show. And Big Show's like, fuck you, man, whatever. And then Kurt looks at JBL and he's like, I will throw you to the fucking wolves if you do not come out with this WWE title tonight. And JBL says, look, I got Doug, I got Danny, I'm good. 77 rated match. Kurt Angle says no fuck-ups tonight, kicks Big Show out of this weird clique that we have going on building here on the Smackdown locker room for failing him. 77 rated Angle, and we cut back to the ring where we have Rene Dupree versus John Cena. Okay. Fell apart due to a lack of psychology. I think that's because I did Car Crash. I think so. I don't know. Maybe Rene Dupree doesn't have as much. Oh, fucking Cena probably doesn't have as much psych as I thought he did. Cena probably doesn't. Yeah, I tried to book him like he's modern day John Cena. Alright, that's on me. I had him call it in the ring. But yeah, John Cena defeats Rene Dupree in 14 minutes and 23 seconds by pinfall with the FU. And the finish of this match is Rene Dupree. He flashed those brass knuckles earlier, and he meant it. At some point, the referee, he gets bumped, and Rene Dupree, he goes for his trunks, and he tries to pick out his brass knuckles, and he turns around into John Cena, who's got a chain wrapped around his fist, and he, bam, right to Rene Dupree's face. John Cena heard the promo, and he one-upped him. Rene Dupree thought he had the edge because of brass knuckles, but John Cena had his own gimmick in the waiting. He hits Rene Dupree with his chain right across the face, throws his chain, throws Rene's brass knuckles out of the ring, picks him up, attitude adjustment, 1, 2, 3, and John Cena retains his United States Championship. And we cut backstage where Howard Finkel has found Tony Chimmel and Total Domination, and Finkel says, Tony, you and your team, you were successful in your tag team debut. And then Tony Chimmel grabs the microphone out of Finkel and he says, Finkel, I fucking love you, but what did I say? I told the Dudley Boys not to fuck with Tony goddamn Chimmel. And what did they do? They messed with Tony Chimmel, the greatest manager in WWE history already, the most successful track record in WWE history currently, a flat-out whopping 2-0. Perry Saturn's got a win. Total Domination got a win. The Dudleys have learned the biggest problem, and that is to mess with Tony Chimmel Services LLC. Nobody can go up against Tony Chimmel Services LLC, and anybody that wants to fuck with the Pear Bear and the Rick chick fucker, you will meet your end, just like Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley did earlier tonight. Nobody messes with Tony Chimmel, nobody messes with Total Domination, and if anybody tries to, then you will meet the dirt. Thank you, Finkel. I will see you later. Let's go. And then they go somewhere, probably to a bar, and Tony Chimmel just cuts the most cracked out promo you have ever heard in your entire life. He is He probably snorted a few lines of coke in between the victory from Total Domination and the interview here. So just having a great time, Tony Chimel is. But who is not having a great time is, of course, John Bradshaw Layfield, as he is just... We cut backstage where he's just kind of observing around everywhere, just like taking in the surroundings, and yet this happens again. This happened a few weeks ago where JBL was going out for his main event match, and lights were flickering. He keeps hearing things. He's getting very paranoid. He hears like birds in the background, just caw, caw, just random bird chirps in the background. Very, very ominous of what JBL has heard. This bird has been fucking following this guy, and nobody really has addressed it. JBL doesn't want to sound like a goddamn whack job. He doesn't want to get lumped in the same asylum Tony Chimel will eventually go into. So he's just been keeping it to himself, and yeah, just more creepy happenings happening for JBL. Our following match is the triple threat match to determine the #1 contender for John Cena's United States Championship, and after 15 minutes and 28 seconds, Booker T does it. Booker T gets the victory, pinning Rob Van Dam with the scissors kick. Just clean victory. Good match from everybody. Booker T was the weakest link. I do want to kind of push him. I need heels. I need more over heels on SmackDown here. I've got Big Show, and I've got JBL to an extent, and, you know, Ken Shamrock, I'm pushing him like he's a fucking star, but he's actually only a recognizable right now. So I just need heels. So our next big heel I'm going to try to give somewhat of a push to is at least Booker T, as he wins this triple threat and will receive, he is the current, I don't know when he'll receive it, but he is the #1 contender for John Cena's United States Championship. And following that, we cut backstage where Undertaker is jumped by the Basham brothers. The Bashams, they try their absolute hardest to beat down the dead man. He's a very hard man to find, but they found him. They try to beat him down. They get a good few licks in him. They eventually get him to the ground, start kicking him, but eventually Undertaker sits up. Like Bashams thought they had the job done. They start walking away. Undertaker sits up and fucking chokes them both out. Double choke slam on the ground. And, you know, he doesn't exactly walk away, what's the words? He doesn't exactly walk away unscathed, but he's not exactly, bruised and battered like Kurt Angle was hoping. So, yeah, just Bashams try to beat down the Undertaker. They get a few good looks in, but not exactly, world-ending beatdown by the Basham brothers here. In the return of Stone Cold Steve Austin, he goes 10 minutes and 25 seconds with the Big Show and wins by submission. I don't know why submission. Alright, but whatever. Steve Austin got an 85. That's really good to see. That's actually really good to see. I was worried about time decline. I don't know where Steve Austin was going to land, but getting an 85 in his re-debut is exactly what you want to see. This is the match you think it is. It's, Steve Austin, you know, He keeps getting cut off because of the Big Show and his size, but Steve Austin is just the better wrestler. He'll hit the stunner, he'll lock in the Texas Cloverleaf, and he'll get the victory in this 80 rated match. And the return of Steve Austin is a success, as he then fucking 98. He celebrates with the fans. The guy throws him beers. He still doesn't miss one. Austin catches beers. There's a big ol' Steve Weiser celebration after the match. Just, you know, give the fans a really fun moment. Steve Austin is back in the company, full-time as a wrestler. 98 rated promo here by Stone Cold. We cut backstage to Booker T and John Cena just kind of going face-to-face. John Cena just like, he's holding the title around him. He's like, Renee wanted to bring aggression. I brought ruthless aggression. And then Booker T cuts him off and he's like, you wouldn't know the first thing about ruthless aggression, sucker. You don't know shit. I am gonna take that United States Championship back. I was the last United States champion when WCW closed its doors. I'm one of the greatest WCW United States champions of all time, and you are making a mockery of my championship. You and that French tickler are just parading around like, oh, look at us, we're the next in line. You guys ain't shit. You ain't shit. I'm the shit. And John Cena's like, the only thing that you ain't shit. Damn, I really fucked up John Cena's comeback. Oh well. But yeah, just essentially like hyping up the future feud between Booker T and John Cena here. This will be John Cena's next program. I've built him up a fun heel. Maybe I'll have Booker win the title. I don't know yet. But 74 rated Angle to kickstart this next chapter in the John Cena United States Championship feud. Our semi-main... Ooh, damn, they don't click. That sucks. It only got a 76. Our next match sees Ken Shamrock take on The Undertaker, and it is one hell of a clash of styles, as Ken Shamrock is, like, the most grounded in reality character on SmackDown, and The Undertaker is the most out of reality character on SmackDown. It makes for one hell of a match, but Ken Shamrock, in his re-debut with the company, the baddest man on the planet, locks in the ankle lock after 16 minutes and 22 seconds, and he defeats The Undertaker. Ken Shamrock has defeated The Undertaker here on Judgment Day. Did the Basham's ambush have anything to do with it? Maybe, maybe not, but Ken Shamrock looks to be a force to be reckoned with going into the future of this save. What is next for Ken Shamrock, Kurt Angle, and what is next for The Undertaker, as he has just lost to Ken Shamrock? Up next, we see Kurt Angle. I forgot about this, sorry. We see Kurt Angle and Ken Shamrock kind of taunting over The Undertaker, just like, that's what I thought, that's what I thought, Taker. You can't mess with the baddest man on the planet. You don't mess with the interim GM. You don't mess with the baddest man on the planet. And Paul Bearer's at ringside, and he's just, oh, my Undertaker. And then Kurt Angle, he sees him, and he looks right at Ken, and he says, Ken, we're not done. And Ken, he also looks at Paul, and he's like, yeah. And then they go outside, and Ken Shamrock, he locks a chokehold in on Paul Bearer, and Paul's screaming, help me, help me. He's just choking him out, and eventually Undertaker, he tries to sit up, and he can't get up there. Ken Shamrock has done a number on The Undertaker. Undertaker is unable to do his sit-up. He can't go and save Paul Bearer, and the interim GM and Ken Shamrock, they see Undertaker starting to move, and they're like, fuck this, let's get out of here. Ken Shamrock's like, God, fucking, I'm having fun choking him out, and Angle's like, I don't give a shit, we're going, and then they leave. And yeah, Ken Shamrock is having one hell of a return here on Friday Night SmackDown so far. 81 rated segment, as it's almost time for the main event. JBL is talking to the Basham brothers. Fuck, man, JBL just, these fucking Bashams just kill every fucking angle they're in. I swear to God, they kill every fucking angle they'll ever be in. Oh my God. But yeah, JBL, he's talking to the Bashams. He's like, look, I'm not trying to sound paranoid, but there's something coming after us, all right? There's something going on. I don't know what's happening, and all I need you to, look, Kurt Angle said it at the beginning of the show. All right, Doug, Danny, if Eddie Guerrero tries anything, if he tries to, I don't know, like win or something, you come out and you stop that, all right? Tonight is my big night, and I need to make sure that you guys will be in my corner. And Danny and Doug, they got ice packs on. They're like, yeah, no, we showed The Undertaker who's boss, and we'll do the same to Eddie, just for you, John. Yeah, just for you, John. And then John's, okay, JBL's like, all right, cool, all right. And then he starts to walk away, and he's like, fuck, maybe we should talk more about this. I got a couple minutes before, and he turns around, and he just sees the fucking Bashams on the ground, laid out, and the lights are flickering in their room, and he's like, what the fucking, and then it's like, God, what is that fucking bird? And then his music starts to play, and it's like, shit, and he goes out there for his match against Eddie Guerrero. And his match against Eddie Guerrero goes about 21 minutes, and JBL tries every trick in his book. Eddie Guerrero tries every trick in his book, but in the end, after 21 minutes and 11 seconds, Eddie Guerrero comes out victorious, defeating JBL with the lasso from El Paso. JBL tried to cheat. Eddie Guerrero just cheated better. Gets an 86 rated main event, defeating JBL to make defense number 5 of his WWE Championship. And after the match, JBL, Kurt Angle, Ken Shamrock, they come out and they start jumping Eddie Guerrero. They keep beating him down. They're like, fuck, this was JBL's moment, god damn it. So they're beating on Eddie Guerrero, and then the lights in the arena completely go out. They completely go out. JBL and Eddie and Ken, you hear them stop, and they're like, what the fuck's going on? And you just see the Titantron. It's going fucking crazy. Just like smash cuts of like forests, black and white images, all this shit, weird, like, static sounds, and you just slowly hear a bird chirping, a crow chirping in the background, and it gets louder and louder and louder until when the lights come back on, behind JBL, Kurt Angle, and Ken Shamrock, it's Sting! Sting is here in the WWE, and he gets JBL and Ken Shamrock in a double door scorpion death drop, and he drops him to the ground. Sting is here in WWE, and he has just served justice to JBL and Ken Shamrock after Eddie Guerrero's title match, and Kurt Angle, he tries to run as fast as he can with his fucking neck brace or whatever he's got going on. He tries to leave, and Sting, he's got a bat in his hand as Kurt Angle's walking away. He points the bat right at Kurt Angle, and he just signals that Kurt Angle is a dead man walking, and 91 rated Angle to end the show. Sting is here in the WWE. Overall, we got a 90. SmackDown's a lot harder to book than Raw. Fuck. SmackDown is a lot harder to book than Raw. Alright, at least we know Eddie is able to carry JBL. Yeah, I think good show. Good show overall. Stone Cold and Sting is here. So this was every time when I was like, hey, there are people in WWE that refuse to sign because of Vince McMahon, and that's like the whole point. That's the reason I went with Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman being the shoot head of WWE in this timeline, is because I was trying to negotiate with like Sting and a couple other people. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I remember, like, fuck, man, I can't bring in Sting because he won't want to work for Vince. So I'm like, I wonder how much different a save would be if Vince is not in the company. So Sting is here in WWE now that Vince is gone, and he is targeting Kurt Angle and JBL and anyone who gets in his way, I guess. Overall, a 90 rated show. We're gonna, not the big show, we're gonna, Undertaker, you're awesome, dude. Undertaker was fucking pissed, man. Undertaker was so pissed. Let's give Eddie Guerrero great performance. We'll give Steve Austin good performance. Praise them all. We made $4 million off that pay-per-view. Popularity recap. We gained a little bit. Yeah, good stuff here. Media scrum. Just I'm gonna. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. So last time I had these completely off to the side because these fucking interviews kept spoiling returns. So I'm gonna keep it up here, and then if it's something fine, I'm gonna, how are you intending to use your new signing Perry Saturn? Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up. Fuck, I can't. Oh, that sucks so much balls. Damn. Oh, it cuts off. Oh, that would have been so perfect, though. Damn you. Damn you, I do have to keep it off screen. It's just there. You can just see it. Fuck off. God damn it. What about if I put, I don't know, whatever. I hate these fucking. Yeah, see, another spoiler. Fuck you guys. We'll play it by ear. Alright. JBL was off his game tonight. How disappointed are you in his inconsistency? The biggest night of your fucking career, and you do this shit to me. Everyone has off nights. Give him a break. Oh, fuck. It is known that Rick Steiner and Perry Saturn don't really like each other. Does this not reflect badly on your locker room environment? I think I'm gonna sit down with them and work this issue out. Your response, it showed leadership, lifted the locker room, additionally has improved the relationship between Rick Steiner and Perry Saturn. Let's fucking go. As a bonus side effect of your response, your relationship with Rick Steiner has improved. Hell yeah. Oh, this fucking question again. Currently, the average age of the big stars in WWE is on the other side, being 37 years old with so blah, 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 blah. I don't fucking know. I guess new stars will always be created. It's the nature of the business. According to sources, Michael Hayes is annoyed that he isn't on your booking team. Will you be looking into this? Fuck, man. I don't comment on internal matters. Okay. That's the media scrum. Damn, putting it up here would have been so convenient. That would have been so convenient. But yeah, that's Judgment Day. Eddie Guerrero carry job. I thought about giving JBL the title, but it's like, dude, he can't. He's way too inconsistent with promos. He was off his game tonight. I mean, Eddie's giving me fucking 90s. I'm not. Shinsuke's taking an MMA fight. Holy fuck. Look at that. Warning, your pay-per-view buy rate in at least one region was mildly reduced because WWE have run so many Well. Sucks to be them. I don't really care. We got 1 million buys, so. Oh well, sucks to be them. I'm sure that'll go away next month because, oh man, I mean we do run like 2 pay-per-views a month very frequently. Hopefully it'll be fine. I hope I don't have to. I hope to God I did not redo my entire pay-per-view schedule so fucking meticulously just for it to like fuck me in the ass. So that would suck. That would really suck. Regardless, I mean we're not in danger of like TNA is not gonna do shit. They're not gonna be able to do anything. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We just need to make enough money to make our god tier streaming service, and then we'll be fine, and we don't need to worry about pay-per-views anymore. But yeah, that was Judgment Day. I hope you all enjoyed Judgment Day 2004. We start the build for, what is it? Is it Vengeance for SmackDown? We start the build for the Great American Bash on the next SmackDown, and on the next episode, we continue the build to Bad Blood on Raw. William Regal's getting a world title shot, and so are the Rock and Sock Connection. They're getting tag team title matches against the Evolution guys, Batista and Flair. So, yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this edition of Ruthless Aggression Redone, and I hope you all come back for the build to Bad Blood and the Great American Bash.